Hi everyone, this is Robert. Welcome to a bonus edition of Indie Geek. Game of Thrones loves its rockstar cameos. There have been 5 so far, with rumours of a 6th coming up next season. So how many have you spotted? Gary Lightbody, lead singer of Snow Patrol, started the trend in Season 3, Episode 3. He was a soldier in the Bolton Army, leading the troops in a rousing rendition of The Bear and the Maiden Fair. It was a blink-and-you-miss-it appearance, but started the Game of Thrones tradition of using real-life musicians to portray the musicians in the show. Will Champion, Coldplay's drummer, was next. He played, a drummer at the Red Wedding. Will is known to be a huge Game of Thrones fan, and if you're a fan of Coldplay, you might also want to check out the mockumentary they made for Comic Relief about developing a Game of Thrones musical. Personally, I'm a big fan of Emilia Clarke's Targaryen Rastafarian at about 9 minutes into that video. Sigur Rós made probably the most noticeable cameo so far. They appeared as a band performing for Joffrey at the Purple Wedding. Joffrey wasn't impressed and sent them packing before they finished their version of the Rains of Castamere. That was the last song he heard, though. He was dead within minutes. Mastodon were up next. Unsurprisingly, a decision was made that their metal music probably wouldn't work well in a Game of Thrones setting, so they took on the role of wildlings instead. It was a short cameo. The village of Hardhome was overrun by the White Walkers, and Mastodon, like the rest of the wildlings, died. But maybe there's a chance that we might still see them again as Whites in a future episode. Finally, we have Of Monsters and Men, who, after lobbying the Game of Thrones producers for several years, finally won themselves this cameo, playing the accompaniment to a theatre troupe that Arya gets involved with in Season 6. Cameos aside, plenty of the main cast have musical success outside of their acting career. Probably the 2 most notable being Wilco Johnson, who had plenty of success with Dr. Feelgood back in the 70s, and Jerome Flynn, who famously, as one half of Robson and Jerome, had the biggest selling single of 1995 in the UK, with a cover of Unchained Melody, as well as 2 further number 1s and a couple of number 1 albums. And who's up next? Well, if the rumours are to be believed, then we will need to look out for Bastille in the final episode of next season, not playing, but fighting as wildlings. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you want to see more like this one, please click on the subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, please check out my Patreon page. Thanks again. That's all for this time. I'll see you again real soon.